Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in. This is Rob O'Keefe, broker of record, Keller Williams Park Views Realty. I'm here with my go-to attorney and friend, Jonathan Mehl, also based in Rutherford, New Jersey. Jonathan has been a licensed practicing attorney since 1991, and concentrates on real estate law, operations, evictions, closings, things of that nature, which he'll fill us in now. Jonathan, thanks so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you so much for having me join you, and I really appreciate it. And before we get started, I want to give a big shout out to all of our healthcare professionals and day-to-day workers who are really putting a good job out there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. You guys are the real heroes. And today is actually National Superhero Day. So you guys are the real heroes out there.
Fantastic. So a little bit about what I do. I've had my own law firm, as you said, since 1996. I've been practicing since 1991. Most of my business is representing real estate investors and doing real estate related work. Some small business representation as well, a lot of which revolves out of the real estate work. So I do people's closings, companies' closings, anything from somebody buying a house to an apartment building, small office buildings, small shopping centers. And coming along with that is doing their eviction work, just addressing general questions, what I might call operational issues. Sometimes disputes arise. We end up handling the disputes. Sometimes they end up in lawsuits, sometimes they don't. But as long as it's revolving around real estate and small businesses, that's where I try and focus my practice.
Right. And it just helps have that concentration there because, as you know, real estate's always fluid. It's always changing, and the laws are changing with it, especially 100%. In today's times.
The laws are always changing, and over the past few weeks, the rights and responsibilities of landlords and tenants have been changing regularly as well, which brings us to what we're going to discuss today about the CARES Act, which was passed by Congress, some of the executive orders which have come out by our governor, how they're being interpreted in various areas of the state. So I look forward to explaining that to people today and then answering any questions which might come up.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, for people that have been following the videos, you know, I've just been touching on this at a very light basis, you know what I mean? Because one, I'm not qualified to speak on it. So I thought it'd be really interesting and informative and useful, actually, just to have an attorney like yourself on the call, just to go over some questions and also like an invitation for people to reach out to you if they have further questions.
Oh, of course.
That.
Of course.
Yeah,
everybody needs to reach out to me. I'll say it again at the end. Best way is email, and then I'll get back to people. Jonathan@mehllegal.com, JONATHAN @MEHLLEGAL.com. And my office, Rutherford, you can look me up as well.
Perfect. All right, so let's just jump into it. So tell us what's been going on and what's been changing.
There's a lot going on. But most of all, if we're going to be speaking, let's start out with the landlord-tenant aspect of this. People have to recognize that a landlord-tenant relationship is not adversarial. And a lot of people, especially when you read in the newspaper and other things, are viewing it as adversarial. Landlords want to earn money. They want to have filled apartments, they want to have filled stores and filled offices. That's how they can pay the banks. That's how they can pay their insurance payments, the real estate taxes, all the people that work for them, the upkeep of the buildings, etc. If tenants aren't paying, then that's the problem. And therefore, landlords and tenants really need to work together. And there's a lot of misnomers out there that some tenants think that they don't have to pay your rent. If you have the money, pay your rent. That's what will keep up your building. If you're a landlord and a tenant is having a problem paying the rent, work with your tenant, particularly in the commercial environment, but in the residential environment as well. And tenants, tomorrow is May 1st. A lot of you will be watching this on May 1st and next week, thinking, how am I going to be paying my rent? I got laid off, I got furloughed, etc. If you don't have the money, don't ignore your landlord. Reach out, send an email, call up your landlord, let your landlord know what's going on. Of course, the landlord can't say to everybody, don't worry about it, you don't need to pay the rent, or don't worry, only pay half of it. But a lot of landlords, if you reach out and take the initiative, will work with you. We have to keep that in mind.
Yeah, I think that's so good, you know. And just like what you said, what you touched on, it's not an adversarial relationship, it's a business relationship, you know, between landlord and tenant.
Exactly. But there are a few changes that, I'm sorry, I've got to turn my phone off. I apologize.
Business is booming.
Yes, that people can deal with. And what they need to know is, as far as the executive orders go, that the executive orders, first of all, the CARES Act came out at the beginning of March, or the middle of March, which is a federally mandated law. passed by Congress, signed off on, that says it's 854 pages long, addresses a lot of things, what's going on. There's about 8 pages in there that deal with federally backed mortgages, where there's a whole section for multifamilies being 5 and above, and multifamilies and renting for 4 and below, 1, 2, 3, and 4 family houses. Borrowers, if you have a federally backed Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac mortgage, can apply for a mortgage forbearance. The problem with that is that all of the payments will be due probably on August 1st. There are some exceptions. I think there are some things in the works I'm not 100% sure about. You can work that out with your lender as far as that goes. A lot of people really aren't applying for those because everything will be due, at least at this point right now, unless something else is worked out as of August 1st. For the multifamilies being 5 and above, the same thing. The forbearance process is a tough process to go through. So you have to decide whether or not you're going to